Welcome to the Stand Like Men podcast. I'm Logan Ingram.
And I'm Daniel Trollenberg.
And we are here to learn what it means to live out a biblically masculine life. This isn't just for men. We have women listeners as well, and we encourage women to listen. But the source subject is the Bible and living out masculinity through a biblical lens in the way God designed us men to.
Yeah. And if you're enjoying the show, we'd love it if you would like and subscribe and leave us a comment and engage with us. Send us an email at standlikemen@gmail.com, or we have a website. Did you remember that?
Oh, no. It's so new, I forgot.
Well, it's still under construction. We're supposed to put bios and stuff like that on there. But if you're interested in going to our website, it is, what's our website?
I don't have my notes from when we met last.
I'm just going to... This is riveting podcasting. This is such good content. Standlikemen.com. That's it. Okay. I didn't know if we put podcast in there or not.
I couldn't remember either.
So do I keep all of that in there, or do I scrap it?
Yeah.
Let's keep it in there.
We're human. Keeping it real, bro.
Yeah. We're
keeping it 100.
We are people.
That's right.
It is standlikemen.com. It is still under construction. We've got to get some pictures and some bios up there, but it was created for us. It was built for us by good time listener Isaac, and he has a little software company, a company where he builds things, software and computer wise. And it's called FjordWorks. Fjord, Fjord Works. Is it fjordworks.com?
I think so. I didn't bring his card either because I don't have my notebook.
Oh, fjordworkssoftware.com.
There you go.
It looks quite nice. It's very good. He was I feel bad like stumbling over this like advert or promo. But
we can redo the
promo. Yeah, I mean we'll get a new one at some point. But he was supposed to write us the copy for it, and he hasn't yet.
Oh, that's right.
And so he gets this garbled mess of ugh. Anyway, fjordworkssoftware.com. Check with Isaac for all of your software needs. He can write apps, and he can make websites, and he can do all sorts of things.
Yep.
Probably some databases.
Yeah, very knowledgeable and very easy to work with.
And a pretty cool guy. And he has been listening since episode 1.
I don't think I realized that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome.
He's a buddy of mine, and I said, "Hey man, I'm starting this podcast." He goes, "Okay." And so he's been listening. He's a good time listener, Isaac. And we were joking about, if someone wants to sponsor us.
Oh yeah, we do that a lot.
Yeah, we're just joking about it. He goes, "Hey, I can do that." And so that's how we got a website.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway.
Love it.
So in future episodes, man, that took a long time. That was like 3 minutes of me rambling about a website.
That's okay.
Okay. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are we talking about today, Logan?
All right. We are continuing our dive into the marks of an uncommon man. These were written and created by my friend Bryan Schwartz. And so we're going through this list. There's 60 something of them. And last episode we went over 1 and 2. Today on this episode, we're going over 3 and 4. So number 3 is of the marks of an uncommon man is he knows he is a masterpiece. And each one of these are rooted in Scripture. So Ephesians 2:10 says, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." So we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance to do.
An uncommon man sees his life as workmanship, not accident. He believes God was intentional when he made him, intentional when he called him, and intentional when he prepared works beforehand for him to walk in. So he lives with purpose. He does not despise his wiring, his story, his scars, or his process. He understands God wastes nothing and uses everything. The common man lives as though life is random. He sees his story as disconnected pieces instead of divine formation. Because he does not recognize design, he lives reactionary. He stumbles into days instead of stepping into prepared works.
Yeah, the common way, like what we just went through, was or is, I know people have said, it's a difference between going through life and living. Mm-hmm. Existing and living. What's the difference? Well, that's it. The common man is just living generally. They just react to everything. They're not intentional about stuff. They don't pay attention to really what's going on. They're not intentional or proactive about much of anything. They just kind of coast through life because there's no purpose behind it. Like if we just say, well, I'm not created for anything specific. I'm not created to be any way. I'm not created for a purpose. Then, that's really the only option, right? Is to just drift along. It's like a leaf falling in the river. Mm-hmm. Like it's not there for any reason.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a direction. So it just goes. Mm-hmm. It goes wherever the water is flowing. And that's it.
Yeah.
Whereas the uncommon man has his identity rooted in Christ, in the Bible, and realizes that a divine creator created him for a very specific purpose. And that there are circumstances that will meet him throughout his life that God created him and prepared him for. Mm-hmm. And so that's a very different way of looking at life than just going with the flow. If you go into it knowing I am here for a reason, I was built specifically for this, and here's my purpose, you live a totally different life.
Yeah.
We are not soundproof in this new office.
No. Yeah, we're still transient.
Transient.
We're still transitioning into our new studio. Hopefully, that'll be within the next week or two.
Yeah.
Well, the next episode will be in the new one.
Hopefully. Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe 2. Anyway,
maybe 2 episodes.
Yeah. What was I got? I had something. Yeah, like looking at your life as random, like, and disconnected is one thing that, like, okay, so it kind of reminds me of what we were talking about at the beginning of the year of like, do you have any goals? It's not just like, oh, I want to lose weight. It's like, okay, what are you going to do? It's about intentionality.
Yeah.
If you're disconnected, you're not intentional. If you're disconnected, you're not working towards anything. Like you said, you're just kind of flowing like a leaf on the water. Like you're just kind of sitting there and waiting for something else to move you. Whereas an intentional, uncommon man is going to be working towards something. And the cool thing is, I was talking to a buddy about this. He was like, he was just offered a job. He's like, I don't know if I should take this. Is this a good job for me? Is this a good fit? And like, is this what God wants me to do? I'm like, the cool thing is, like, God doesn't really care what you do as long as you're loyal to him. And as long as you partner with God and you work with God, God doesn't really care what you do, because he's more interested in your loyalty. He's more interested in you partnering with him. And if you're going to partner with him, then you're not going to take it like, you're not going to take a job at a strip club. Like because there's nothing about that is holy.
Right.
And if you're partnering with God, you're not going to get into drug dealing or whatever. But as far as like, okay, do I work at this bank or do I go pursue a law career? Like, okay, well, God can use you in whatever capacity that you're in. And so like he has things. Where am I trying to go with that? It's more important that you are actively seeking God and actively seeking his partnership.
Yeah.
And that, like, yeah, I don't have anything else in that sentence.
Yeah. Well, I brought it up the other day. I did just a short video for Facebook or whatever. And I was talking about how people have asked me how I notice things out in the wild, like out in the woods. How do I see an antler in the shadows from 100 feet away, or spot a deer a mile away? And it's because I am in tune with those things. I'm tuned to see those things. I'm intentional about spending time in the wild, intentional about, when I was younger, reading up on how to do those things and then practicing them in the wild. And it's the exact same way with God and with our relationship and being intentional and figuring out our purpose. We're not going to be able to see those things. We're not going to be able to see what God has created us for if we are not intentional about spending time in his word, studying up, and being intentional about how we live our life. Because I get to take people out with me a lot who are newer to hunting. They can't see the stuff that I see because they've never done it. They don't, their life doesn't revolve around that stuff the way I have allowed my life experiences to revolve around those things. And so if you're not spending time in the word, if you're not praying and talking to God, you're not going to be able to see the purpose exactly. You're not going to be tuned. Your ears and your eyes and your heart are not going to be in tune to be able to see those things. But it takes intentional effort. Like if I don't get up early and read books or Bible or listen to the Bible or godly podcast and spend time talking to God, then I'm not going to hear it. And I'm not going to see it.
I like this bit. He does not despise his wiring, his story, his scars, or his process. So like every man is different. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. Everybody is wired differently. So like there's like neurodivergent and neurotypical is what the like scientific term is called. Like there's ADHD, there's autism, there's dyslexia, there's sensory issues. Like that's one way. I don't like where I'm going with that because
I do, and I'll add on to it.
Please take it over.
I was reading Matt Chandler's book Overcomers this morning, and he's specifically talking about his wiring. So he has a big booming voice. If you've never listened to Matt Chandler, his voice carries, and he says that in the book. He had a voice that carries. He's big booming voice. He's 6'5". So he's just a big presence. And he said when he was a kid, that got him in trouble all the time. And so his wiring made him like a troublemaker. Like he was just super loud, getting in trouble at school, getting in trouble at home because he's using his outside voice inside, and was intimidating probably by his height. But now he preaches in his loud, boisterous voice helps carry the message and it helps connect with people. So something in his wiring that others look down on and probably he looked down on. It's like, why am I so loud all the time? Like, why am I wired like this and get in trouble all the time? Now it's furthering the kingdom. It's a gift.
Yeah.
And so exactly what you said, like if we look at our wiring in the wrong way, whatever issues we might have, those issues could help us connect with other people. Yeah. And they could actually be a gift. And we just don't realize it yet. And that's really hard too. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Like I'm almost 100% deaf in my left ear, and it's caused communication problems. I had a horrible time in school because of it. I didn't wear a hearing aid for a long, long time. Caused issues in relationships because I couldn't hear it. I would talk really loud, and because I couldn't hear myself. And so to me, that was just a terrible thing. Like why? Like why am I like that? Like what's the purpose for that? And I still don't know exactly. But it's amazing how many conversations I've had with people about hearing aids in the last 2 years. Yeah. Because I finally got one, and people will point it out and be like, I hate to bother you about this, but I noticed. And it's like, they're weird. It's funny that they're sensitive to it. Yeah. And I'm like, I'll tell you all about it. And then a couple of them have gotten hearing aids because of it. And so it's really interesting how stuff like that works. And I love from The Chosen, the clip where Jesus is talking to John. John has a limp. Or James, I'm sorry. Yeah, little James. Yep. and they call him Little James in the Chosen, and just to separate him and Big James.
Yeah.
But he walks with a limp, and he's upset because he knows Jesus can heal him. Mm-hmm. And Jesus is explaining, like, yes, I could heal you, but how powerful is your testimony because of that? And how many people might you save because of this one thing? Mm-hmm. And so that's a really interesting way to look at it. It's a really, really powerful scene.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be powerful for anybody, because every single one of us looks at ourselves like that. Mm-hmm. It can be anything. Yeah. And I don't know a single human on the planet that doesn't have a flaw that they hate about themselves and think is the worst. Mm-hmm. And it ranges from all kinds of physical disfigurements and limps and impairments and mental disorders and all kinds of stuff. But it's very powerful to know that even those things are part of us for a reason.
Yeah. Well, I was going to bring up the story of the blind man, and as they were walking in, the disciples were like, "Hey, Jesus, who sinned? Was it this blind man or was it his parents?" It's like, no one sinned. Like, the reason he's blind is to show God's glory.
Yeah.
It's like, well, how does that make sense? And like, I mean, we read the story and we can look at it and say, oh, well, because Jesus healed the blind man, and then people saw that he healed the blind man, and the blind man had an amazing testimony in front. But like, with you and your hearing aid or whatever, it's like, what is, or even my wife with her GI issues several years ago we've talked about, and her cancer. It's like, okay, so what is the purpose of this? And we may never know what the purpose of that is. And it's like, okay, but it's not for us to know what the reason is. Like Job, in the book of Job is like, finally he gets to the point, he's like, why are you doing this to me? Why is this happening to me? And God's like, that's none of your business.
I was talking about that last night.
Yeah.
I hate that answer.
Yeah. He's like, God's like, tell you what, let me ask you some questions first, and then you answer them. Like, yeah. And actually, it's like, it gives me chills. He's like, I will ask you and you will answer me. It's like, oh, you done messed up, Job. It's like, but I mean, we don't, I want to say, like, we don't have the right to ask God the questions, but he wants us to ask the questions. It's not, but he does not guarantee an answer.
No.
He does not guarantee that we're going to know what it is. He doesn't care. What am I trying to say? Oh, I got to get this sentence formed right. God, I mean, it goes back to God cares more about your loyalty. Like, he wants you to be loyal, and you not knowing the answer to something doesn't prevent you from being loyal to him. And like, it actually forces, I'm butchering that sentence, I feel. Am I not?
No.
Okay, just some imposter syndrome coming out.
There you go.
Which is the next thing I wanted to talk about on this.
All right.
God wants you to be loyal, and you're going to have scars. You've got a story. I was talking with Robert Evans several weeks ago, and I'm hoping to get him on the podcast, because he had an amazing, like, he was talking about, you were saying you were a trouble, or the other guy that you were talking about was a troublemaker. Robert, man, I got so excited, my brain just decided to not put things in a linear, concise order. So I was talking with Robert, and he was like, growing up, he was always getting in fights. He was always getting in trouble. He was always always in trouble. And then in high school and college, he got real big into drinking and whatnot. Finally, somehow, like, ended up being led to Christ, going to church, and he always felt like he was a fraud. Always felt like he didn't belong at church, and that people were gonna, like, judge him. And then fast forward, he's now a shepherd at Highway. And I was talking to him about it. I'm like, was that weird? He goes, yeah. When they had been asking me to be a shepherd for a while. And I'm like, no, because you know where I came from. You know what I've done. You know my past. And they said, yeah. And like, you can now reach the people that are in that space. Mm-hmm. Like he doesn't like the fact that he fought for most of his life. He doesn't like the fact that he drank. He doesn't like that past, that story. But he's going to be able to reach the men that are in that pit of alcoholism or fighting, lack of self-control or whatever. He's going to be able to reach those people better than someone who hasn't gone through that. Mm-hmm. And so he's not ashamed of his story. He'll tell you about it. And he knows that by being faithful and loyal to God, God is going to use that story for his glory.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. Life is pretty hard anyway. And I try to look at those wounds and scars as building me for a purpose, because if they're not, then what hope do we have? Mm-hmm. You know, then it's just, I think all we have left is to be angry mm-hmm. about it, to have resentments, to be angry. And of course, those things will poison our lives and our mentality and our hearts over time. And so if we can't look at the way that we are created as a masterpiece, if we look at ourselves as a mistake, I mean, first of all, we'll never live up to our potential. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think it has a lot of room to harm other people. Oh yeah. Because the whole saying, hurt people. Mm-hmm. I hate that. Yeah. Because nobody should be hurt to begin with. But we can do it to ourselves by not believing this, mm-hmm. by not believing that we are created specifically for a purpose and that we're an amazing thing. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it just fills us with hatred and rage and resentment, and mm-hmm. that'll poison our lives, and then that will poison our actions, and we will pour that onto other people. Yeah. And so I think it's encouraging to me, because if I just look at everything that's happened in my life, all of my wounds and scars as pointless, mm-hmm. then that's a horrible thought. Yeah. And a horrible way to exist. And I cannot live up to my potential. I cannot take care of other people when they're going through things. Mm-hmm. And just you have no empathy. Yeah. Either, I don't believe.
And we talked about I forget when it was, but we have infinite value because we were created by God. Like it's not a mistake. Like he doesn't make mistakes. Like he made us. I heard this. This is a quote from a college professor. The perfection of God's creation is that he chose to make us imperfect. Oh. I'm like, ooh, that'll preach right there. It's like, yeah, I mean, we're imperfect, but it's not that God couldn't make us perfect, is that he chose to make us imperfect so that we could be loyal and faithful to him. We should talk about imposter syndrome. Because one thing that when I'm dealing with imposter syndrome is I think that I think the opposite. I think that I am not a masterpiece. I think that I am flawed and kind of fraudulent in my worth, my value, you know? I've got more I can talk about, but I didn't know if you want to jump in at this point.
Well, it kind of goes back to what I was just saying about looking at our flaws. Like if we only look at that from anger and resentment and like there's no purpose behind it, then yeah, imposter syndrome is going to eat us alive. Mm-hmm. Because then we have no authority to do anything. Everything, we're victims, and we have no authority to speak on anything because we're just a victim. Yeah. And so we cannot be confident. And yeah, the whole self-worth thing, like I think plenty of things have happened to me in my life that I've never talked about. And they can absolutely get in your mind and say, is that all I was worth? Yeah. You know, am I that pathetic or weak or weak-minded or scared or whatever that I allowed that to happen to me? Mm-hmm. I mean, how do you live from that? Yeah. Right?
Have you
Your
heard?
self-worth just disintegrates when you start thinking that way.
Yeah. Have you heard of small man syndrome?
Mm-hmm.
Chihuahuas.
Little
have it.
man.
Little man syndrome. Small
Yeah,
man.
Napoleon.
Yeah. Napoleon. Chihuahuas are like the perfect example
Yes,
without
they are.
pointing to specific people. Because I mean, we
can point to Napoleon.
can point to Napoleon. Like just he was small in stature. He was a smaller person, but and he was very self-conscious about that and very aware that he was shorter than everybody else. And so he decided to conquer the world.
Yep.
I know we're not saying names, but I know people that like they're on the smaller side and they're just at the drop of the hat, they'll fight you. It's like, because they're so self-conscious about it and they're so uncomfortable with where they're at. Mm-hmm. It's like, instead of like just recognizing, okay, I'm shorter, they're just like, they have to prove themselves.
Yes.
And where if you see someone who's uncomfortable, whether they're small or not, like they can be a giant and still be self-conscious and uncomfortable in themselves. But like you put two people next to each other, two men, one is uncomfortable with themselves and one is comfortable with themselves. And I think you talked about this and the uncommon trait number 1 of we live from, not for. Mm-hmm. Like the uncomfortable person, the little man syndrome, like they are uncomfortable and they're trying to gain their value. Whereas a comfortable person knows that they're a masterpiece and they're living from that. Like everything that they do is coming from that position of, I know that I'm a masterpiece. I know that I'm partnering with God and this is what he needs me to do.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, I've been around people who believe that, they're a masterpiece. They have a purpose. Mm-hmm. It is so incredibly addicting to be around them.
Yeah.
They just rule the room.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much power comes out of these people. Mm-hmm. And then you're around another person who's the opposite. They suck the life out of every room. Mm-hmm. And no one wants to be around them. And you look at their life, they may have accomplished a lot. Mm-hmm. Materially. People don't want anything to do with them.
No.
It's incredible to be around people who know that they were built for something, mm-hmm. and they're striving to live that way.
Yeah. So I just got back from Nicaragua, and I was talking with Keith, and he's like, what is? We have like a group discussion. He's like, what is one thing that the Spirit is trying to teach you on this trip? And at that moment, I don't know. I mean, I almost said I don't know what it was. It was the Spirit said, "Hey, it's imposter syndrome," because the night before, the question was like, "Why are you here?" And I just gave a whole bunch of disclaimers as to why the reason I was in Nicaragua serving the mission there, serving the kingdom, was not a valid reason. Like I didn't have a good reason. I'm just here because of it. And it was just a bunch of disclaimers. And then he's like, and it just kind of hit me. I'm like, oh, I make a lot of disclaimers so that, and like, I never really analyzed why I do it. I always said, it's because I'm a vending machine accepting a crinkled up dollar bill. I'm like, no, I can't accept a compliment. And like, I'm not actually that valuable. I do what I can, but I'm a fraud. And so I give a bunch of disclaimers so that when they finally figure out that I'm a fraud, I can tell them, well, I warned you. I told you that. Mm-hmm. And it finally hit me that is exactly what Edward Cullen does in Twilight. So you didn't expect to talk about Twilight today.
I love Twilight. I read all the books and seen the movie a bunch of times. Movies.
Well, I lost some respect for you.
Too bad.
Okay.
I don't care. I'm comfortable in myself.
So here's why. When we were newly married, Kara and I were, and we're like, she was reading, it was like book 3. I'm like, okay, you know what? They're making some movies. She enjoys Twilight. I'm going to read Twilight. So I started reading the first book. And I get to chapter 13 or 14. I said, you know what? I'm done with this. And so I closed it and I walked in. I said, Edward has no balls. I'm not reading this anymore. She goes, what? I'm like, because he is constantly telling Bella the entire time that she is not safe with him. He is not safe around her. Like if she continues to be around him, he's going to harm her, and he doesn't want that to happen. So, stay away, stay away. He keeps pushing her away, but then he keeps orchestrating situations to where she cannot help but be in the same vicinity as him. And it finally clicked that like he's doing that so that when he does actually fail and he does actually harm her, he can blame it on her and say, I told you to stay away, but you didn't stay away.
Yeah,
this is your fault. And so he pushed all of the responsibility onto her, even though he was the one that was responsible for not hurting her. And it dawned on me in Nicaragua that that's the attitude that I've taken, is that I'm warning people that I'm a fraud, so that if they find out that I'm a fraud, well, it's their fault. I'm putting the blame back onto them instead of accepting responsibility for myself. I'm like, okay, I don't want to be a fraud. I need to stop pretending that I am. I need to stop operating as if I'm a fraud.
That's really hard, but it's amazing what happens when you stop doing that.
Yeah.
It really, because everybody can feel it.
Yeah. I don't like it.
And I know. And I get to visit with people who feel that way a lot by going to these events that I go to, like the Forge and whatever. And it's incredible, the difference. Like we had guys at the Forge event this last month or whatever it was. Man, time is going so fast. It's ridiculous. A guy who was there last year, 2025, felt that way. I'm not worthy. I'm not supposed to be here. I don't have a story to tell. And then they had breakthrough, and then they've been working on themselves and been intentional all year, and then came back, and just incredible. And one of them, I'll call him out because I know he listens. His name is Brendan Crane. He's a mountain of a dude. Like I don't feel small around a lot of people, being 6'4", 230 ish. And he makes me feel really small. He just made detective. He's a cop. He's a power lifter. So he's just big.
Yeah.
He is really strong and really big and intimidating. But man, that guy came back this year and just was a totally new person, speaking from power and authority and confidence. And it was incredible to watch, because not only was it fun for us to watch, but he had a greater impact on other people who were feeling the way he did in the first year in 2025. And so it was incredible to see. And I get to witness that a lot. I don't know why. I guess just the arenas I find myself in and the places I put myself, but it's so powerful.
Yeah.
When you step into your own and your confidence in knowing who you are and what your purpose is.
Yeah. God does not make mistakes.
Nope. That's exactly what Matt Chandler said in the chapter I read this morning. Guys, we are all created for a purpose. We're created to live confidently in Christ. We have a job to do. Like we've talked about it. Brant Hansen talks about tending the garden. We are created to do that. And that's where this whole masculinity thing came from. This whole podcast came from. It's because we know that we are created for a very specific purpose, to lead our families, to lead our communities, lead our churches. And we are supposed to be uncommon. Like God does not call us to be normal and common. You see through all throughout the Bible, he doesn't call anyone to just be a good person. And we just have to know and be confident in that we are here for a purpose. And we are created by an incredibly smart individual. Very intelligent.
I'd agree with that statement.
Very intelligent and amazing too. And we all have incredible qualities that can be beneficial to others' lives. And I wish we could all have that confidence. I wish there's a level that I wish I could be at, and I'm working towards it. I haven't hit it yet that I know of, where I have that type of level of confidence in myself and my purpose. But I'm getting there, and I hope you guys are too. Like that's a huge point of this podcast, is we are fearfully, wonderfully made and created for days such as this, for a time such as this. And, but we do have to be intentional about seeking that purpose out, learning what our abilities are. And I think God can use that even when we're making mistakes during that. God can use that to impact others. And
Absolutely.
I mean, it's incredible how many mistakes I've made in this journey, and yet it somehow helped.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And of course, imposter syndrome will run rampant when you make those mistakes, because you fall right back into the performance mindset and thinking, well, I'm that dumb. I just can't even get this right.
Yeah.
And
God has, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
God has already factored in your stupidity.
I do love that
Yeah.
statement.
I heard that. I'm like, it's a little hurtful at first, because I'm like, I don't want to be stupid, but I am really stupid. And like, God has already factored that in. And that's really comforting. And so it should give us confidence to operate from a perspective of, I'm created by God, and he knows that I'm going to make mistakes, and yet he still chose me to work with him. And he still wants me to work with him. Well, thank you for listening to Stand Like Men podcast. We are so very glad that you're here. We'd love it if you would like and subscribe and leave us a comment and interact with us on the socials and whatnot. Also, send us an email at standlikemen@gmail.com, or visit our new website created by fjordworksoftware.com. Our website is standlikemen.com. Gosh. And if you're still listening, good time listener Isaac, I need you to write us a script of what to say. We're going to put it right here, and we're going to read it every single episode.
There you go.
Anyway.
Gosh. Our verse is 1 Corinthians 16, 13, and 14.
Be watchful.
Stand firm in the faith. Act like men. Be strong.
Let all that you do be done in love.